At the beginning of the story, we see how Queen Himiko of Japan was bent on destroying the entire kingdom with her black magic. To save the country, the generals launched a rebellion against the queen, captured her, and left her on an island where there was no one for miles. Years later, a man named Lord Richard Croft got his hands on an old map that could reveal the island where Himiko was abandoned. Richard left his daughter in London and set out to find Himiko himself. 7 years have passed since then, and now a grown-up Lara is competing in an MMA fight. During the bout, her opponent was getting the better of her. Soon she caught Lara in a chokehold. Lara struggled for a long time, but eventually had to tap out. Since her father's departure, Lara had been getting by doing odd jobs. Then one day, Lara's father's business partner, Anna, came to meet her. Anna said, "You don't have to do all this for money. Your father has left a lot for you." But Lara didn't want her father's money. It had been 7 years since Richard disappeared, so Anna told Lara, "Look, you should sign the papers so we can declare Richard legally dead. Otherwise, all his property will be sold and you won't get anything." That evening, Lara began to think about her father. Before leaving, Richard had given Lara a necklace that belonged to her mother. Richard had said that if you hold this necklace and remember someone, that person knows they are being thought of. The next day, Lara went to the Croft Holdings building to sign the papers declaring Richard dead. Before she signed, the lawyer gave Lara a puzzle from Richard, called a karakuri. Lara took the puzzle, and as soon as she solved it, she found a hidden letter and a key. The letter read, "The first word of my final resting place." Lara immediately understood its meaning and went to her father's tomb nearby. On the tomb, she pressed the first letter of her father's name, R, which revealed a keyhole. As soon as Lara inserted the key and turned it, a door opened on the other side of the tomb, leading to Richard's secret office. There, Lara found some fake passports and an old video camera containing a message from Richard. Richard explained how, after his wife's death, he had sought a way to meet her again in the afterlife, which led him to work on Project Himiko. He wanted Lara to burn all the research on the Himiko project, because if it fell into the wrong hands, it would cause chaos. Lara also found a box with Himiko written on it. Instead of burning it, Lara started to look through and read the materials. She learned about Himiko and the island where she was kept, Yamatai. Lara discovered that Richard was heading to Yamatai and found out about the captain who was supposed to take him there on his ship. Since Lara hadn't signed the death papers yet, she couldn't access her father's inheritance. So Lara sold her jade necklace and used the money to get to Hong Kong. Here, as Lara was searching for the ship's captain, some boys, under the pretense of helping her, snatched her bag. Lara chased them across the tops of boats, but they boarded a boat that started moving. Lara ran through the market, reached their boat, and as soon as the boys got off, she managed to catch the one who had her bag. The boy tried to scare Lara with a knife, but Lara swung on a hook to the other side. Just then, she saw the ship she was looking for, the Endurance. But the boys were still chasing her and soon cornered her. However, the ship's captain, Lu Ren, fired a shot and scared the boys away. Lu told Lara to leave immediately, but at that moment, Lu was heavily drunk and passed out, falling off the ship. Lara threw water on Lu to wake him up and then showed him her father's letter, asking about Richard. But Lu revealed that his father's name was also Lu, and it was possible her father had dealt with his father. "And to be honest," he said, "my own father is missing too." Since both Lu's and Lara's fathers had disappeared on the same trip, Lara told him they were going to Yamatai. Lara had found some codes in her father's diary, indicating where they might have gone. Lu guessed that the codes represented the hands of a clock, which Lara used to mark the island's location on the map. Upon seeing it, Lu immediately said the island was in a very dangerous place, and going there would be perilous. "Besides," he said, "I don't even care about my father." But a little later, after seeing a childhood photo of himself with his father, he reconsidered. Lara guessed from some items lying around. "You lost money in a gamble last night, didn't you?" Lara offered Lu a significant amount of money for his help. Lu agreed, and the two of them began their journey towards the island of Yamatai. On the way, while reading her father's diary, Lara found an ancient puzzle among Richard's belongings. She learned that Himiko was imprisoned behind a sealed door, and Richard had found a way to open it. Reaching Himiko's location on the island was going to be extremely difficult, and they would have to face many challenges to get there. During this mission, Richard was being watched by an organization called the Order of Trinity. This organization wants to use mystical powers to rule over humanity. Richard feared what they might do if they got their hands on Himiko's power. Anyway, one night when Lara woke up, she saw a dangerous storm raging outside. She went up to the bridge where Lou was struggling to control the ship. Lara saw that they had reached very close to Yamatai Island, but huge waves were repeatedly pushing the ship away. Lou told Lara to abandon the ship, but Lara went to her cabin to get Richard's diary, leaving the old puzzle behind. Just then, the ship crashed into a large rock, and Lara fell into the water. The storm separated Lou and Lara. Lara somehow managed to reach the shore and saw that there were other people on the island. Suddenly, someone hit her and knocked her unconscious. The next day, Lara woke up in a tent with a man named Matthias Vogel. Matthias told Lara, "I have a daughter just like you." Matthias explained that he couldn't leave the island and return home until his work was complete. When Lara checked her bag, Matthias informed her, "I have Richard's diary now, and I have everything I need." Matthias revealed that they had captured her father. He didn't cooperate with them, so they were forced to kill him. Hearing this, Lara's heart sank, knowing her father was no longer in this world. When Lara went outside, she saw some workers trying to bring down a mountain with explosions. As Lara was being taken captive, she saw that Lou had also been captured, and they were forcing him to work. Then Matthias gave orders for everyone to move to another location. On the way, Lou told Lara that most of the workers here were either fishermen whose ships had sunk or people who had been trapped by the smugglers. Lara told him that Matthias had killed her father, and soon Lou learned from the workers that his father had also been killed. Lara apologized to Lou for bringing him to this dangerous place. From Richard's diary, Matthias found the entrance to Himiko's tomb, and all the workers, including Lara and Lou, began clearing the path. Suddenly, an old man collapsed from weakness, but a guard shouted, "Get up, old man, and work!" At this, Lara and Lou took the old man's side and confronted the guard. But then Matthias came from behind and shot the old man. Lou threw a pickaxe at the guard to give Lara a chance to escape. As Lara ran, a man was about to shoot her, but Lou attacked him at the last moment, saving Lara. Lou also saw his chance and ran after her, but Matthias shot him in the arm. Lara reached a cliff and tried to cross by climbing over a fallen tree, but due to the gunfire, she fell into the river. Lara was trying to get out of the river, and as she neared a waterfall, she grabbed the wing of a crashed airplane and somehow climbed on top of it. But unfortunately, the dilapidated plane began to break apart under her weight. Lara quickly ran towards the main part of the plane, and just before the wing broke, she managed to jump into the plane's body. But now, the entire plane started to fall apart and got stuck between two cliffs. Luckily, Lara found an old parachute there, and as she fell, she opened it. Lara somehow survived the crash into the jungle, during which a sharp tree branch pierced her abdomen. Screaming in pain, Lara pulled out the wood and then decided to spend the night in a nearby cave. While sleeping, she heard a noise and went outside. Suddenly, one of Matthias's men, Rock, grabbed her. To escape, Lara bit his arm. She tried to fight him with all her might, but Rock once again threw her to the ground and began to strangle her. During the struggle, Lara picked up a rock and hit him on the head. After that, Lara grabbed him and pushed his face into the mud so he couldn't breathe, and in a short while, Rock died. Lara was still in shock that she had taken someone's life when she noticed a figure in the darkness. Without thinking, Lara started following him. She saw the man climbing a hill. When she got closer, she saw it was none other than her father, Richard. Richard thought it was just a hallucination. How could his daughter be here? But Lara assured Richard that she was really here. Seeing her, Richard's eyes filled with tears, and he asked, "What are you doing here?" Lara was injured, so Richard bandaged her wound and told her to rest, promising, "This time I will never leave you alone." The next day, all the workers had cleared the path to Himiko's tomb, after which Matthias made a phone call. When Lara woke up in the morning, she saw Richard shaving his beard. and she helped him. Richard explained that leaving Lara was very difficult for him, but he couldn't leave the island because of Himiko. He told her that Matthias works for the same Trinity organization, and Richard had to stop him from reaching Himiko at all costs. Richard asked Lara, "Did you burn all my research?" Lara told him she hadn't. Hearing this, Richard became very worried, but Lara argued that if she had, she would never have been able to reach her father. When Richard learned that his diary was with Matthias, he became extremely angry, but Lara didn't care about any of this. However, Richard said, "This is not a joke. If Himiko's tomb is opened, the whole world could be destroyed." Lara decided that they could only escape by using Matthias's phone, as fighting so many soldiers alone was beyond them. She picked up a bow and arrows that were there and ran towards Matthias's camp. Lara managed to sneak into Matthias's tent, but a little later, he also arrived, forcing Lara to hide. Matthias received a message on his phone that his boss would be arriving soon, but Matthias still hadn't found the codes to open the entrance. When Lara got out of the tent, she saw Lou. She killed the guard who was watching the workers and then told all the workers to gather weapons while she tried to steal Matthias's phone. As soon as Matthias left the tent, Lara ran towards it to steal the satellite phone, which she managed to get. But then she saw that Richard was heading towards the tomb. Matthias soon spotted Richard, captured him, and began to torture him. Matthias wanted to finish this job quickly and return to his family, but Richard said, "Once this tomb is opened, your family won't survive." Realizing that Richard wouldn't tell him the truth, Matthias ordered a guard to shoot Richard. But before the guard could fire, Lara shot the guard. She then aimed at Matthias, but Matthias already had his gun pointed at Richard. Matthias knew that Lara didn't believe the world-ending story, so he wanted Lara to convince her father to open the tomb. After much thought, Lara decided that she had found her father after so long and wouldn't let anything happen to him. Lara said, "I know how to open the tomb," just as she had solved the old puzzle on her way there. Lara turned the wheels on the door exactly like that, and the entrance door broke and fell. Lara, Richard, Matthias, and his entire team now went inside. As soon as they entered, a strong gust of wind blew, which Richard believed were Himiko's breaths, but Matthias said a man's breath couldn't be that strong. Then Lara accidentally stepped on a trigger, and a spear shot out from the ground, killing a guard. After that, they reached a deep chasm of bones, where the bones of people who had died were piled. They used a ladder to cross to the other side. Suddenly, a guard accidentally stepped on a trigger, causing the large circular doors to slam shut, trapping them all inside. The entire floor also began to crumble. Then Lara saw that one guard was left outside, watching them through a keyhole. Lara used the wheels on the walls like keys to try and open the door, but just then, the floor where Lara was standing also broke, leaving her dangling from the door. Lara was still trying with all her might to open the door, but it wouldn't open. Then Lara remembered the puzzle at the entrance and realized that to open this door, she had to combine the yellow and red wheels to create a green wheel. As soon as the green light appeared, the door opened. When the door opened, they saw that there were broken tombs inside. These were, in fact, the tombs of Himiko's handmaidens. They had not forsaken their service to Himiko, even in death. This was exactly as Richard had written in his diary. Seeing this, Lara began to think that maybe the story of the curse was true. Finally, they reached Himiko's tomb. Richard tried to explain to Matthias that opening the sarcophagus would be a huge mistake, but Matthias didn't listen. The guards opened Himiko's coffin, and inside lay Himiko's dead body. Suddenly, Himiko opened her eyes, and her body began to rot instantly. Lara noticed that in the tomb's paintings, Himiko was not depicted in a demonic form. Then Lara remembered the earlier puzzle, which said that to regain life, Himiko must die, and anyone who touched Himiko would die. Lara stopped the guards from touching Himiko. Now Lara understood that Himiko had sacrificed herself to save the world. But the guards didn't listen to her, and as soon as they touched the body, Himiko sat up. Matthias thought it was some kind of drama to scare them, but one guard who had touched Himiko's body found his hand turning black and his flesh rotting. This revealed that Himiko's body carried a dangerous virus, and to prevent the disease from spreading, Himiko had sealed herself away. The guard's entire body began to rot, and out of fear, he started shooting, killing the other guard who had touched the body. Then Matthias shot him too. Even after seeing all this, Matthias decided to take one of Himiko's fingers to give to his boss. While he was doing this, Lara picked up a climbing axe and attacked the last guard. At the same time, Richard picked up the dead guard's gun and shot Matthias in the leg. The injured guard chased Lara as she ran outside. Matthias told Richard to go home, but Richard would not let Himiko's finger leave the island under any circumstances, because doing so would spread the virus throughout the world. Matthias started shooting at Richard, but soon his gun was empty. Just then, one of the infected guards got up and attacked Richard. With Richard's attention diverted, Matthias fled. Richard shot the guard, but now the guard had touched him, which meant the virus was now inside Richard. Richard tied a bandage around his arm to stop the bleeding, hoping to slow the virus's spread in his body. Meanwhile, Lara, seeing her chance, hid in one of the handmaiden's tombs. But her foot stepped on a bone, and the sound led the guard to find her. The weight of both of them caused the tomb to break, and Lara fell into another room. The guard had also fallen there with her. Then Lara saw a trigger and stepped on it, causing many sharp wooden spikes to rain down on them. One of them hit the guard, and he was killed instantly. Soon, Lara returned to Himiko's tomb, but Richard told her to stay away because the virus was now inside him. He told Lara to stop Matthias while he set fire to Himiko's tomb. Lara wanted to save Richard in any way possible, but Richard had accepted his death. Richard said, "It's a great thing for me that I got to see my daughter again." Crying, Lara picked up her weapons and said her final goodbye to her father. Meanwhile, Matthias was still crossing the chasm of bones. Lara leaped and landed on the other side of the ladder, stopping Matthias. She kicked him, throwing him back to the other side, but Matthias was not one to give up easily. A fierce fight broke out between them. Matthias grabbed Lara by the neck, but Lara managed to throw him down. She could not let Matthias escape from here under any circumstances, so she knocked down the ladder itself. Matthias then picked up the axe and swung it at Lara. He threw Lara to the ground and grabbed her by the neck. Meanwhile, Richard blew up Himiko's tomb with a bomb. The explosion distracted Matthias, and Lara, taking the chance, kicked him and shoved the bag containing Himiko's finger into Matthias's mouth. Now Matthias was also infected with the virus. Immediately after, Lara pushed him into the chasm. The whole place began to crumble, so Lara started climbing the wall to get to the top. As soon as Lou saw her climbing from afar, he gave her a hand and somehow pulled Lara out. They saw the Trinity helicopters and threatened the pilots to take them home. Back in London, Lara signed the papers that now confirmed her father was dead, and Lara would be the owner of Richard's company, after which, "Now you will handle the whole business." But Lara said, "I have no interest in any of this." In the end, Lara bought back her mother's necklace that she had been forced to sell, and holding it in her hand, she remembered her parents.
If you want interesting movie recaps, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.